Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, But Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers, Season 3, Episode 3, Bob Fires the Kids, and Episode 4, Mutiny on the Windbreaker. We always start with our synopsis. So, the synopsis for Season 3, Episode 3, Bob Fires the Kids. Bob receives a mysterious package. It's all his toys from his childhood. He realizes he didn't have a good childhood, and so he fires the kids. Mickey, the attempted bank robber, returns to Bob's Burgers free from jail and takes the kids' place working at the restaurant. The Belcher kids attempt a summer of freedom but end up working for blueberry farmers who are actually selling marijuana. Mickey takes advantage of living in the Belcher's basement and attempts to mine his way under the street to the bank.
Oh, Mickey.
Oh, Mickey. But Bill Hader's back.
That he is.
Bill Hader is back. I'm going to start this before I get into all the puns.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this episode takes place in the summer, even though we just watched the Halloween episode.
Oh, you're right. I didn't pick up on that.
This episode and the next one are summer episodes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the next episode, which we're going to talk about, was actually supposed to be aired in season 2, supposedly. And they kept having to push it. This episode got moved around a lot because of baseball.
Okay.
If anybody doesn't know, playoff season for baseball for MLB is October. And so a lot of episodes tend to get pushed around. This was one of them. They got pushed around and pushed around. So we're like, all right, we just got to put it somewhere. So here we are talking about 2 summer episodes right after Halloween. And the next week we get to talk about Thanksgiving.
Whee!
So this is just out of whack. I can't fix it.
Maybe it's because of The Simpsons has desensitized me, because I almost never assume that that seasons of animated shows that where everyone stays the same ages, I never put on the logic of that the things are happening in chronological order, even though, as we've seen with the ice cream machine, stuff does stick around. There is continuity as the show goes on, but I've just never put on it that things are happening in necessary chronological order as we're seeing them.
They usually do. I will say there's I think most seasons keep it pretty chronological, and they keep it pretty continuity is wonderful. This was just one of those situations of we got to put these somewhere. They've been made. But let's go ahead and start with our puns. What did you get for the vacant storefront?
So the vacant storefront was I'd hit that boxing gym.
Secondary sign just says boxing lessons.
Yeah. And the pest control truck was mouse arrest.
House arrest. The sign for that one includes a rat with a ball and chain.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I guess it keeps you in one place.
How many burgers did you get?
There were a lot in this one. I have 5 burgers.
Yay, you got them all. It's like a game now.
I know it is. Well, because especially in the next one, I didn't get, I don't, there was technically one, but I couldn't read it, so I didn't get any of the next one. So this one we have the itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot zucchini burger.
Look, that is purely millennial. If you haven't seen that, I should just go ahead and put the video with our show notes for this one. But the itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini was a commercial for Yoplait. Oh God, early?
Yeah, it's also a song by itself.
It is a song, but the commercial is what comes to mind.
Yeah, the Yoplait yogurt commercial.
It's which looking back is probably not the best.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Telling people to eat yogurt so they can fit in their bikinis is definitely not with body positivity these days.
But I think that's where most people remember that song from, is that Yoplait commercial.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. We have the summertime burger, time spelled THYME.
We already know that one is.
That was summertime as in the time of year, but also could be the song Summertime from Porgy and Bess. If you really wanted to go that deep with it.
Yeah, it said on the wiki that it's just the play on the phrase. But it could be if you think about it.
You never know. I mean, anything can be a pun of anything if you try hard enough.
I love my co-host.
If you don't listen to our episodes in order, the one that aired before this is predominantly us yelling, "Why are there eggs?" So...
And even if you don't watch the once episodes, just listen to that one. You will enjoy it.
Yes, please listen to episode 27, just because
Eggs.
it's us yelling about eggs and weird gender dichotomies that are thrown in for no apparent reason.
Which makes the next pun really bad.
Oh yeah. The Butterface burger comes with butter lettuce.
And that is a play on the derogatory term, butterface, as in, everything looks good but her face. Don't use this, please. It's not nice.
These puns are like not PC.
No, 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 no.
The next one's fine. The next one's the beats me burger, spelled like beet as in the vegetable.
Yeah, and that's like the beats me, like the response to a question when the speaker doesn't know the answer.
Mm-hmm. This last one might be my favorite. We're here. We're Greer. Get used to it, burger.
That is the gay rights protest rally phrase. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it.
Oh my god.
I think you needed this after all the eggs.
I think so, yeah. After why are there eggs?
Okay, so we did see that Bill Hader has returned. David Herman is back as Marshmallow. We all love Marshmallow. Do you know who plays Beverly and Cooper?
So Cooper's Nick Offerman, right?
Yes!
Okay, I got that.
Nick Offerman does play Cooper.
I did not catch who played Beverly.
It's Megan Mullally.
That was Megan Mullally? Dang. Because you know what? I wrote down, I can't place Beverly's voice, but in my head I was like, this was a really weird place to not use Megan Mullally. That's what I was thinking.
Like, you're using Nick Offerman. Where's, like, it's so fitting.
You've already established that she plays multiple characters, so okay. I feel a little dumb, but also I think she did a good job changing her voice, which was clearly on purpose.
As does Nick Offerman, by the way.
But his voice, his voice, there's a certain, it took me a few scenes.
He did change it a little bit.
Because he sounds older, but like, it took a couple scenes, but eventually I'm like, oh, I know that I know that vocal texture. I figured out that it was him. But
I thought it'd be the other way around. I thought you would know it was Megan Mullally and not Nick Offerman.
No.
I am proud of you.
Now I want to watch it again just so I can hear her voice.
That's Megan Mullally and Nick Offerman as Beverly and Cooper, which I love when they play married couples.
Yeah.
In shows because you know they're playing off of each other. I adore them.
Truthfully though, nothing beats Ron and Tammy Swanson.
Absolutely nothing beats that.
That is the best pairing of their acting abilities. It's too perfect.
I think it's because we get to see them in person and it's not a cartoon.
Yeah. When he guessed on the Will and Grace reboot, like he had nothing to do with Karen's character.
Oh, I hadn't watched the reboot.
Oh, okay. They put him in an episode. He has nothing to do with Karen Walker at all. I think at some point they interact, but like he's just there obviously because he's Megan Mullally's husband. But he's also funny, and he worked very well in the part that they put him in for.
Well, it's like The Office when the Pam's husband is the nurse or the lactation consultant. I'm sorry, like that's like a fun little fact that Pam's husband is him.
Yeah,
like they like to bring in spouses from time to time.
Yeah, why not?
So originally, the word dildos was said by both Linda and Tina instead of vibrators. These are the facts I find.
We love the fandom wikis. They help us so much.
Teddy's garage has a sign that says contractor parking only because he's a contractor and men.
But
there you go. The pointed finger statue in Cooper and Beverly's house is anatomically correct with an extra finger compared to all the characters in the show. I really love that the animators, like the people who draw this, do this because the same with the dinner theater episode with the feet sticking out and the anatomically correct toes.
Yeah.
When they're not drawing moving characters, they'll draw anatomically correct.
I guess why not?
Right? Like, oh, wait, I can do it here. I don't have to move it.
Exactly. They don't have to animate it. My guess is it's just as cheap to draw it with all correct appendages if it's just going to basically be a piece of set dressing.
Yeah. So at the end when Cooper and Beverly are singing right, left, they use the opposite foot to pedal each time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And my favorite note, so the delivery man who delivers Bob's toys, he is the same delivery man who was taken hostage while delivering Tin Cup to the Moody Foodie.
Oh, okay. So the town has one UPS guy.
Pretty much. I mostly wrote down in my notes just favorite lines because
Mhm.
this is a very fast-paced show. Like, this episode is extremely
Mhm.
fast-paced. It doesn't work
Oh,
very
yeah.
slowly. The banter is probably some of the best banter we see so far. But my favorite
Mhm.
line to start off with is, "I knew you so briefly, you dead soap dog."
I wrote that it's soap. Couldn't he literally just, like, slightly melt it and fix it?
And we're talking about Bob here. He didn't have a good childhood.
I'm But I did enjoy finding the TikTok sound of, "I just realized something. What? I didn't have a good childhood." "Yeah, I know." "What do you mean you know?" "Well, look at the way you stand. People who had good childhoods don't stand that way."
People who stand like that didn't have a good childhood. God, I love that line.
Mhm.
I really loved Marshmallow just going, "I'm ready for a bake-off."
I liked them putting in all of the cameos of the
Oh,
other
I loved
characters
it.
throughout Tina's, delivery service.
Yeah, because we had the rollerblader guy, we had
Mhm.
Marshmallow, we had, Mr. Fish Odor.
Yeah.
Mr. Fish Odor partakes.
This doesn't shock me. He also I mean, he's wearing an eye patch, so of course he also would partake.
That is very true. And then, of course, the line of Gene just yelling, "Tell that to my vagina." Because Gene's yelling that he's a girl, and Bob's like, "No, you're not."
Yep.
So yeah, and then of course the entirety of
Yeah.
just the last few minutes of the episode, the end of the episode, where Mickey's like, "How do I hold my hands? How
Yeah.
do I do this?" And Bob's just like, "Just put them in the air."
Yeah.
And Tina's saying hi to
Like
the
this.
DEA agent.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't wait to hear your notes because
This one, I mean, I do my usual, like, talking to the character situation. Um, it's like a Brillo pad as a toy is depressing.
extremely
You know,
depressing.
I got it. I got into that right away. But I said I like that the title is misleading because he fires them because they deserve to be kids. For some reason, I assumed they'd pissed him off for some reason.
Yeah, no, he was actually trying to be a good dad, and then he realized, oh wait, and the
Yeah,
kids were like, "But we don't want to be fired."
exactly. Like we want to do things, which is fair. Like if you're used to having stuff to do, or at least having a space to mess around,
Mm-hmm.
having the world be your oyster can be a little bit, a little bit too much choice, shall we say. I spent so much of this episode, or like a couple parts of it, ticking off columns for whether this is the Jersey Shore or whether this is New England,
I love this.
because this is now until we see the map and I can make a determination. Even though you say it's not going to be very helpful, but I think that it's going to. I'm going to keep making like ticks for each column because the dirty beach is very much a Jersey Shore
Mm-hmm.
tick. However, blueberries is very much New England. Blueberries are a huge thing in Maine.
Oh,
Like that's where a lot of their agriculture is. This isn't anything I've looked up for Once Upon a Time. This is just from spending a lot of time in Maine because everything is made with blueberries up there. Um, Something I had this past summer, which was delicious, was blueberry barbecue sauce.
okay, I might have to make that.
That I had it. It came with my chicken tenders.
That sounds delicious.
It was really good. It was delicious. Honestly, like most, I'm more not to go off on another food tangent.
I was about to bring
Because we
that
now figure this out.
up.
We do that a lot in Bob's episodes. I'm predominantly like a French fry, chicken tenders, fry like
Hmm.
ranch
Oh
girl. That's
yes,
usually that's where I live. But that blueberry barbecue sauce was delicious, and I would put it on everything
I want to try
because
it now.
it was kind of a cross between like a blueberry sauce and like a lingonberry sauce you usually get with like a schnitzel.
Hmm.
So it was perfect.
Man, now I want
But
schnitzel.
me too. I'm getting that from HelloFresh soon. HelloFresh, you want to not sponsor, but HelloFresh. Once again, you want to sponsor us?
Right?
We mentioned you a
We're
lot.
asking again.
We will ask anytime you get brought up. You want to sponsor us?
I did find a book today that I need.
Oh,
It's a very comprehensive cookbook that has over 600 recipes. It was like this thick.
nice.
This thing was huge. And I'm just sitting in Barnes and Noble looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband keeps trying to get me to look at games. And I just kept looking. And he's like, "Will you come look at this?" And I'm like, "Shush, I need
Yeah,
this."
book.
And then
Book.
there was like a Southern cooking book cookbook next to it that was like this thin.
Mm-hmm.
The big 600 recipe book that had like a lot more stuff than just recipes
Mm-hmm.
was $42. The Southern cookbook that was this big, 45. I'm getting that cookbook though. Sorry. It made me think of that and I was like, I have to tell you about this.
That is fine. I wrote down again with Mickey being because for some reason, even though he was in the basement when I was watching the scene of him trying to dig a hole in the wall, my brain wasn't thinking he would go under the street for some reason. My brain was still thinking he would just like be hacking a hole into the alley, which to be fair, he might still have been for all we know. Uh
He probably might have been.
like as a leasing tenant, does he legally have the right to let someone sleep in the basement of the building?
I don't think he does, but it's
Like probably not.
Fish Odor is also his landlord.
This is true, so he would never find out.
He would probably never find out. Fish Odor doesn't come around unless he's looking for his rent.
This is true. My last funny note, because I said digging to the bank, that's across the street. Huh? It's just what I wrote there. But my last funny note when they showed up on Cooper and Beverly's farm was, why do I get the feeling these people are going to turn out to be nudists?
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Like, that's the trajectory I saw that going. I was pleasantly surprised that it was just marijuana.
Look at your list real quick of Bob's episodes and just look at season 3, episode 11.
Oh, okay. 311 being titled Nude Beach.
It's not who you think it is.
It's never the people you want it to be.
No. Just remember that you love me when you watch that one. Season 3 is still, maybe the kids shouldn't watch. There's a few episodes and they're like full bars. Wasn't horrible.
No, that one was kind of your generic kid Halloween chaos.
Yeah. And this one, maybe you shouldn't. Like, it depends on how you raise your kids. The next one was okay for kids to watch.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some in here that I'm like, we're gonna skip this episode today, kids. You don't need to watch this.
That's
Like,
fair.
we're still kind of in that, like, it's closer to not as appropriate.
Yeah.
My
No,
brain
fair.
went somewhere else. I don't know what happened just there. But yeah. I'm gonna let that sit with you for a minute. I think we'll enjoy that one.
It's been a night.
It's been a night. Do you have any other notes for me?
Other than Double Dutch is hard. I stand by this. I don't really have anything else that's particularly funny.
What did you give this one?
So I will admit, as we've been talking, I did slightly alter my score.
Ooh.
It was originally 8s across the board.
Okay.
Because you confirmed that it was Megan Mullally as Beverly, it gets a 9 for personal, so it's 889, so I get a 25.
I gave this one another 30.
Oh, I know. Oh, okay. I get it.
You get it? All the aspects of this episode were exactly what I love. Like, I don't even have to explain, I think, to you.
No, I know. Again, like, similarly, like, mine is, like, it gets the extra personal because now Nick Offerman and Megan Mullally have been on this together. I am happy.
I mean, you got Bill Hader. I got Marshmallow. I got, Nick. Yeah, I got Megan Mullally, Nick Offerman. I've got the kids in their own chaos. We've got so much packed into this.
Yeah.
It was just, this is one of my favorite episodes of the show because everything that is in this episode makes me happy.
That's fair.
Makes me laugh. And I just, like, because, like, I didn't even say about it, but, like, Bob finding out that the kids are each making $10 a day. He's like, okay, never mind. But I am happy that you enjoyed that one.
This one, like, I get, like, it's this one was pure chaos from beginning to end. So I understand.
Pure. All right. Season 3, episode 4, Mutiny on the Windbreaker. Bob is asked to be a guest chef for one night by Captain Flarty on his cruise ship, the Windbreaker. Linda and the kids are given a VIP card to enjoy themselves on the ship while Bob is cooking. Linda goes a little wild with the VIP card. Tina is determined to get a massage from the masseuse Marco. Louise gets her nails done. And Jean falls for a manatee puppet. The Windbreaker sets sail regardless Bob's refusal to travel to Puerto Rico for a 10-day trip. Bob tries to escape the eccentric captain, but feels it is his duty to save the ship's patrons from bad oysters.
That was a synopsis.
I think you like my synopsis.
Look, we've been saying that there's a correlation usually between like how much we enjoy the episode and how long the synopsis is. Again, not to plug our own episode of we'll listen to episode 27. That's a very long synopsis, and that is not because Lauren enjoyed the episode.
Lauren did not like
Lauren
it.
said, such little happened, she felt the need to just mention all of it.
Okay, what did you get for the vacant storefront?
Simply asbestos, and then the secondary sign was free quotes.
And it's the phrase "simply the best," but that's also a
Yep.
song.
Is it? Okay.
Pretty sure, and maybe that's not the title of the song, but "simply the best."
Mm,
Okay, maybe I don't remember where
okay.
that's from.
I don't know.
Just trust me.
It's fine. And the pest control truck was Rat Stevens.
Yes, so that is, of course, the name Cat Stevens. This is the former stage name of a British singer songwriter, multi instrumentalist, humanitarian, and education philanthropist, Yusuf Islam. This was in the wiki, and I felt
Okay.
like that needed to be there because also the sign includes a rat with two flowers.
Hmm. Okay.
So I think this was just a homage to Yusuf Islam, and you know what? Okay then. There are no burgers of the day.
Yeah, I was gonna like there was something on the board, but Linda's head was always in front of it, so or something was always in front of it, or it was cut off. So like I was like trying so hard to read it, but I couldn't.
The board can be partially seen. It's got like the P and O written on it.
Hmm.
So yeah, there are it's not visible for this episode, but then we end up on the ship. So
No burger of the day.
all right. So Captain Flarty is played by Jeffrey Tambor, which most people know from
Uh okay.
most people know him from Arrested Development and of course How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You look mad at yourself?
I am mad at myself, but also How the Grinch Stole Christmas is not what I know him
What do
from.
you know him from?
Transparent. That awful,
Oh, I
awful
haven't
show.
seen that one.
I don't recommend
I
it.
haven't seen Arrested Development, but I went, "Oh wait, but I've seen The Grinch." I'm going to mention that.
Hmm.
So, capybaras do exist. If anybody didn't know, they are giant. Yeah,
I did know that capybaras are real.
they're real. I say this because I remember a portion of my life where I had to sit down. I was sitting down with my mom and my grandmother, and my daughter was much younger, and she had become obsessed with narwhals. I had to explain to
Mm.
my lovely family that narwhals were real. They thought they were
Yeah, they
mythical
are.
creatures because of the horns.
Mm-mm. No.
I
Narwhals are the unicorns
They
of the
are. I
world.
actually had to like bring up pictures and videos and go, "No, these are real." So,
So I feel like so many people's experience with narwhals is Mr. Narwhal from Elf, where just goes, "Bye, buddy. Hope you find your
that are
dad."
the
Like
yeah.
that is a cartoon, but they
And
are
then you got
real.
the entire narwhal stuff from Futurama too. Yeah,
Mm,
or was that narwhals? That was narwhals. Yeah, it was.
I don't remember. There's also narwhals in one of the musical numbers of The Little Mermaid 2.
There is.
When Melody finally gets her fin and she starts swimming around, I'm guessing the North Pole. Is where that's supposed to
I have
be?
no idea.
I don't know. I don't really question the logic of the Disney company's direct-to-video writing staff.
But I wanted to bring up capybaras because they are a giant rotive. They're native to like South America. They are close relatives to guinea pigs.
That makes sense.
And after everything with Francis, I was like, I feel like I should bring this up. Because
Yep. Or
R.I.P. Francis.
R.I.P. Francis.
We just need t-shirts.
That'll be more merch for us. Is R.I.P. Francis.
Yes. So the garbage truck that runs over the meat delivered by Dimitri is it's called Sheer Waste Management Truck, one of which was previously seen in Earsy Rider.
Okay.
So like I like how they do like all of this.
Yeah, they kind of they reuse because obviously I mean within one town you're not going to have that many different waste management companies. So that
I
makes
thought
sense.
my husband would be more impressed with this, but he didn't care. This
Hmm.
is the only episode directed by John Rice, who is a former director of King of the Hill.
Oh, okay.
All these connections to King of the Hill, and I don't like
Yeah.
King of the Hill, but my
It
husband
happens.
does.
Yeah.
We do have a few more puns.
Hmm.
So the spa on board the Windbreaker is called Spavalus.
Okay.
You don't like that one.
It's fine. It's a pun, but I'm just like, okay, I get it.
The tanning salon is called the Titanic. There it is.
I just loved how when they all imagined the cruise, Louise was sinking the Titanic.
But both Tina and Jean were both imagining being drawn.
Yes.
That was
Well, Tina makes sense.
Jean. Jean.
Jean not so much, but Linda and Tina both having that, sure. Jean not so much, but it's, it's funny.
Well, in the previous episode, Jean was yelling about his vagina, so we could be
This
wrong.
is true.
So my favorite part of research for this is the fact that this episode has multiple horror movie references.
That makes sense.
Louise has claws like Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Louise has claws like Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
Tina's hair looks like Michael Myers from Halloween after her head rub from Marco.
Fair.
The first mate is named Ash, very similar to Ash, the protagonist of the Evil Dead series, or the science officer and alien who tries to kill Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bob gets locked in a freezer by Duvall, a reference to Shelley Duvall locking Jack Nicholson in a freezer in The Shining. Okay. We've now come back to The Shining.
I like it.
So beautiful, wonderful. But yeah, what'd you think?
I liked it. Well, some Mutiny on the Windbreaker it sounds like that horror movie title formula, so it makes sense. So this one, I didn't take as many notes this time, weirdly enough. Is it, of course, Louise dreams of sinking the Titanic. French timers sound like death. That was just what I wrote. Like, it's a little dramatic, but okay.
Just a little.
So we love a massage therapist with healthy boundaries. Like he's like, legally, I cannot work on you if you are under 18. Like that.
I'm not touching you.
I'm not getting sued. I'm not getting arrested. None of this. So we appreciate the healthy boundaries. I did not think the ventriloquist was a very good ventriloquist.
You could see so much of his mouth moving.
Like, all the time. Like, I did appreciate at the end, though, that it was very kind of him to use the dummy to let Jean down gently.
Yes. He wasn't, like, a jerk or anything about it. He,
Yeah.
did use the puppet.
Yeah, like, he's very much, like, he's in way of, like, it was all a scam, but, like, you know what, never forget me kind of situation. Like, we appreciate the letting the kid down gently, even though he was using him for money.
Mm-hmm.
But he was not a very good ventriloquist. Like, fun fact, not ventriloquism, but I was in a puppeteering club in college very briefly. I was also in a puppet show in high school. We didn't have to do ventriloquism.
That is interesting.
Yeah, there's a company that does these puppet shows. The one I did in high school is where I have more of a story from. The puppeteering club in college was whatever it was. But the show, it was New Kids on the Block was the name of, I think, like, the production company. That's the name of the show. And, like, they ran puppet shows that were about, like, that were teaching kids things. So one of the principals from one of the elementary schools had contacted my acting teacher when I was a senior because he wanted to run he wanted to do a couple of, like, the vignettes that was about learning disabilities. So he had already gotten the rights to the puppet shows. He'd gotten the puppets from the company and all the other stuff. So he asked her, like, do you have any, like, he basically, like, worked with her to set it up. And I was taking advanced acting my very last semester of my senior year of high school. And I was in this acting class with a lot of people that I'd known my entire life. We've all been in the musicals the entire time that we'd been in high school. Most of them were all the leads of the musicals. I was always in the ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
She basically had enough of them, is my understanding. Because after she gave the spiel to the entire class, she looked at me, like, directly. She didn't, like, ask for volunteers. She just went to me and went, "Is that something you want to do?" I was like, "Sure, okay." And then I asked, "Can I pick who does it with me?" Because it needed two people. It needed two people. And she's like, "Yeah, you can help me pick." She's like, "Yeah, you can help me pick." So we picked a friend of mine. And we had someone else help us with, like, production. We called her our production assistant because she basically sat at the table with the script and made sure and helped us carry things.
Oh, that's fun.
I love them so much. But so we did 3 vignettes, I think, that involved 3 different puppets. So my one friend was the main character who was in all of them, and I was the other 2 side characters. My shining glory of all of this was being able to make a puppet blow its nose. I have the thank you notes from the kids because we did this for 2nd and 3rd graders.
Aww.
So they, after the presentation, like, the way we did the vignettes, we did like a quick Q&A, as the puppets. I learned a lot about, because it was like the rod hand puppets. They were big, substantial puppets.
Yeah.
We called them the melon heads because they were huge. Um, we do a little quick Q&A with the kids, and then afterwards we'd go on and we do the next thing. But I guess they had like their assignment afterwards, after like, their version of what I learned in boating school is what I learned from the puppet show is they all wrote us thank you notes for coming down and talking to us and everything. So me and my friend who did it with me, we split them basically, unless a pile mention or a letter mentioned something that we specifically did. Like I took like all the second graders, she took all the third graders, and we kind of like. So I have a few that, their favorite part was when the puppet blew her nose.
That's
So
so sweet.
I was very good at that. But it wasn't ventriloquism, it was just regular
Yeah.
puppetry. Because she wasn't asking us to try that. She's like, I'm not asking that of you.
This was not the episode that I would have expected you to talk about puppets, but there is an episode that I expect you to talk about puppets.
I can talk about puppets some more. I can talk about the puppeteering club then, I guess.
Yes. No, I'm just saying this is just very funny because it's gonna be a while. But yeah, there's gonna be puppets.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
My last funny note, I guess, with Louise's nails. I was so sad when her nails got filed down because she tried to climb the rock wall.
She's like, we're gonna do this. It didn't work.
Just go all the way down. Then no more nails.
All the clackety 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 clack.
As someone with very short nails, again, can't relate, but still.
Yeah, I haven't done my nails in a while. I have a couple of lines that just made me laugh. White pants, take a chance. I don't know why that makes me laugh. White pants, take a chance. I wrote, maybe don't get on the ship when the captain is maniacally laughing as you board.
Probably is a bad sign.
Linda's summer glow.
She was neon.
Yeah. She I don't think Linda understands sunscreen.
No.
Jean just yelling boobies? Like, okay, Jean.
Yeah.
All right, this one will make you laugh.
Okay.
All I hear is a funky bass line. That poor guy just getting annoyed with Bob.
Yep.
And Flarty's insane. He's a little.
Yeah.
Whew.
Do we see him again?
No.
Okay.
This is a one-off. I don't think anybody wants to see Flarty again.
No, I think I'm good. Well, especially, I mean, Mutiny, like, in my mind, they just threw him off the ship. I'm sure they didn't do that. I'm sure that's not how Mutiny in a modern society works. But, like, I would like to think that they either just tied him up and, like, attached him to the front of the ship, or just threw him overboard.
I think they took him to the brig, but I love your imagination.
See, whenever I think Mutiny, I just think pirates. So,
that's
like,
fair.
I've been watching Our Flag Means Death. So, like, my brain is just, they walk the plank, they bash in his head and just chuck him overboard, all the other
I
fun
should
stuff.
watch that.
It's a good show.
Did you notice that, not only did, like, Louise's toenails stab through the blankets, but the next morning they're ripped to shreds?
Yep.
I was like, how sharp are these nails?
It means the whole thing has got to be sharp. They're not just pointy. Like, the edges have got to basically be knives.
That, you go, Francesca.
Some good work.
Which, actually, John Roberts also voiced Francesca.
Ah, okay.
So, Linda is also Francesca. I forgot about that one. I was like, I thought I wrote that down, but thankfully it came to me.
Yeah.
And then my last favorite line. We can do more than kiss. Other things.
Again, with the people just wanting to kiss Bob.
Everybody, I mean, he's our bi king, so.
He is.
He is our bi king. I hope you liked this episode a little bit more than the last one, but I doubt it.
No, actually, this one doesn't have as high of a score. This one's 7s across the board.
Oh, really?
Like, it's fine. Like, I think this one, maybe I was getting too annoyed with the captain.
He's a little crazy.
This one, I think, it was chaos, but this one felt more like disjointed chaos versus the last one, which was all kind of very, very chaotic, but all kind of leading towards one ultimate thing. This was more like, I don't know, this one felt more disjointed chaos, so for me it gets a 7s across the board for character, plot, and personal. Mine's
9s across the board.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it is. I think it's the horror references that really got me.
Probably. Yeah, that makes sense.
I love horror movies.
Mhm.
But I loved that. Not having a burger of the day was really disappointing though.
Yeah.
I We're not gonna always have them, but I just wish we had.
Yeah.
But like all the lines are really great. I really love just all the banter. But because they write wonderful banter in
Mhm.
Bob's Burgers. I love these writers. Uh, but no, the horror movie references got me.
Yeah. I'm now looking up if there are cruises you can take that leave from New England that go to Puerto Rico.
Are there?
I'm looking it up now. Because if there is, then we're good. Northeast Cruises, Canada and New England Cruises. This is random. This is a random cruises from Boston to Puerto Rico. Yes, so there are cruises that you can take that would go to Puerto Rico that leave from New England. So okay, so
Where do they stop on the
I
way?
don't know, but maybe Florida. I don't know, but New England is still in the running
Still in the running. My goodness.
until I see this map, which still apparently is not going to be very helpful, but still.
I don't know how helpful it's gonna be. I know you're gonna pause it and stare at it
Oh,
for
absolutely.
quite some time.
It might be more helpful to me because I'm from up here.
Mm-hmm. I'm not,
I
so
might
I
be
have no
able
idea.
exactly. So I might be able to kind of pinpoint what it's supposed to be based off of certain relational things if it's detailed enough, although I'm sure it's not that detailed.
Well, you got 7
But
more episodes until that happens. Or 7 more of
okay.
our episodes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say so in 3 weeks.
Sorry.
Then okay. So
No.
okay, that's
7 of
fine.
our so we do as everybody knows, we do 2 episodes of Bob's per
At a time.
episode. So that's 14
14 episodes. So
14
wait, are we
episodes.
gonna are we gonna hit it before we take our January hiatus?
We are not.
No. Oh, okay. That's fine.
I think you'll hit Nude Beach though.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
You're welcome. You may not like me in that one.
Oh dear God.
Just like me sitting there yesterday watching the egg episode of sitting here going, "What is Lauren making me watch?" I think you'll watch Nude Beach and go, "What is Katie making me watch?"
But I only have to watch it for 20 minutes. You had to watch 42 minutes of
I
eggs and
did.
forced labor.
Oh, so Nude Beach is my revenge. Nude Beach is my revenge. Watch you rate Nude Beach like really high and love it, and I'm gonna be sitting here like, damn it.
I mean, you gave Dreamy a much higher score than I was anticipating.
It's Leroy.
I mean, I understand it is Leroy.
There you go. There's another shirt. It just says "I love Leroy" and have Grumpy's face in the middle of it all.
For your birthday, I'll get you a shirt that's Leroy's #1 fan.
Yes. I love that. I will wear it so often.
Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 115, Red Handed. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. And follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.